Folks, good morning. You're very welcome here to Faugheen for the Carrick Rally Sprint. We are a little bit behind schedule. We were supposed to start at 10:30, but a slight delay here. Action is going to get underway very, very shortly indeed. We are about a couple of hundred metres from the start line. Great entry here, and we should have action very, very shortly indeed. The familiarisation run has just finished up. We can hear cars on the line below. We're going to have the non-IRDS cars first. And I think we have a bit of action now. So we'll let the action. Obviously, J1000 is going first instead. We're going to let the action do the talking because we have nice ambience, we have nice sound, we have great surroundings and all that. So we will let the action do the talking, and we are going to keep an eye on the times. And as the times are coming in, we'll feed them to you here on the broadcast. Well, as we await the next car, just very quickly to let you know, you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and on Instagram at Irish Rally Pod. We are live at the moment on Facebook and on Twitter and on YouTube. Let us know how we're sounding. Let us know where you're tuned in from, and looking forward to a great day down here. We will have 4 runs over the duration of the morning and indeed into the afternoon. And lots up for grabs here, of course. The Southeast Stages titles up for grabs. A big shootout between Casey J. Coleman and Bobby Hennessy. We also have J1000 action coming to a close as well. And one standout there obviously being Jack Brennan, who's had a colossal season. So as you said, we're going to let the action do the talking here for this first run. And here we go. So confirmation, 95 entries here. Great for this time of year. Obviously, a lot of people have spent a lot of money doing events throughout the past number of months. It's young Cameron Crozier going up there with Anya Phelan, sporting the Irish Rally Podcast stickers as well. So thanks to Cameron for carrying them. As you said, look, we're just going to dip in and out with a bit of commentary here for this first run. We're going to let the cars do the talking and the action do the talking. Times now will start to come in very, very shortly as well, so I'll let you know how things are going. Obviously, there's a bit of reverse on the order, as you would see typically with a lot of forestry events. Jack Harris there from Donegal passing through. If you just joined us, we are here just a couple of 100 metres into run 1 at the Carrick Rally Sprint down here in Faugheen. If you are in around the area, pop in. Another 3 runs to go. This is our location for the first run. We are going to try and scoot around and get to a couple of more locations for the following runs to give you a better flavour of the action, but this is a good starting point for us. Ossie Costello, another man who's had a very promising season indeed, was involved in the Bana Rally very recently, encountered some engine trouble as we have times just coming into us here at the minute. So Conor Ryan with a 2:21. Vanessa McFadden passing up there as well. Vanessa part of a big rallying family. Sister Sarah, of course, and big family of minute. They're just absolutely mad into rallying. I do believe that I didn't see the programme myself, but on Nationwide there was a feature done on the Zero Limits that took place in Mondello very recently. That should be up on the RT player. So now we have a bit more times coming through. There is a couple of possible discrepancies here with some of the times coming in, but Tommy Moffat with a 2:19.7, Conor Ryan 2:22.7, Jack Brennan with a 2:23. Long with a very well-known navigator this afternoon, Mr. Peter Falvey. A big hit on social media. You see him knocking around on very entertaining, even flow videos as well. Some of the best content you'll see anywhere in the world. Owen Aspel in the Mark II. So as we said, folks, if you are just joining us, drop us in a little message, let us know where you're looking from, and we'll give you a bit of a shout out there as well, and we'll keep an eye on the times as they are coming in to us. So Jack Harris 2:16, Cameron Crozier 2:19, Tommy Moffat 2:19.7, Conor Ryan with a 2:22.7, Jack Brennan 2:23, Tommy Cronin 2:23.8. A considerable amount of pork in Brian Kerwin's automobile. What a machine, beautiful sound. Anderson there passing. And James Doherty absolutely flying passes there. Cars do seem to be running at 20-second intervals now, which is good because, as you said, we're letting the action do the talking. Not going to do too much talking myself here, and with 20-second intervals, that certainly helps. The only time you'll really hear us is when the times are coming in, and we'll keep it to date with who's motoring well as they come in on the system to us here. Right, so quick update on the times front. So James Doherty with a 1:48.3, Brian Kerwin with a 153 dead. Peter Bogan, 156.3. Owen Aspel, 204.1. Seamus Anderson, 206.4. Pierce Hendrick, 207.2. Rory Howley, 214.1 the Austin Mini. Jack Harris in his Volkswagen up, 216.8. Cameron Crozier, 219 dead. Tommy Moffat, 219.7. TJ Dunn's in touch. Did an orange R2 go past? No, not yet. Negative on that front. Paul Cullen going through there. Great man to sell you a car. My bulletproof 11 Focus was purchased off Cullen Motors, so we'll give him a shout. I think Brian Rowan was supposed to be sitting in with him now. Brian Slow Palatine are playing in Leinster Senior Club Football Championship encounter against Port Arran today at 3 o'clock. So divided loyalties, and if he's not in the car, which I don't think he was, I'd hazard a guess that's where you're likely to see him today instead. Carrick and Shore Motor Club would like to thank Shurwell Group, Kilsheelan Limestone Quarries, JR Auto Solutions, Ashgrove Transport, Yoki Interiors, O'Brien Cement, Shea Power Limited, Alan Cummins Limited, and Anne-Marie Power & Co. Chartered Accountants and Registered Auditors. Sponsors of this Faugheen Rally Sprint down here. So if you just joined us, we are just around the midway point in the first run here. We're quite close. We're just in around location 1 on this 3 kilometre loop. We will be moving around for the 2nd, 3rd and 4th runs as well. We'll get a junction in. Cars off the start, but we wanted to play safe with bandwidth as well, and on locations obviously you're going to have a lot of people on junctions, I should say, and things look pretty good. We did a good recce early on. We've got our own little familiarisation routine, and there is a couple of nice little spots that we might get to over the duration of the afternoon indeed. So if you just joined us, folks, there is a bit of a rejig, obviously, on the order. There's a bit of a mix there, but by and large, they are somewhat running in reverse. So still a good few heavy hitters to come, indeed, on this first run, if you just joined us here from Faugheen. Right, so a quick check on the times again, just to bring you up to date, to see how things are panning out. And yes, James Doherty still appears to be quickest through with a 148.3. Paul Cullen did look very quick, 152.6. Brian Kerwin on a 153 dead. Adam Grace 153.3. Just to complete the top 5, Peter Bogan there with a 156.3. So plenty more lads that are going to take lumps out of the time in there, but James Doherty with the 148.3 is quickest through so far. So as we said, look, we might have a brief interval in terms of action. Stoppage there just on the loop. So while we do that, we'll go through a few bits and pieces, of course. Look, as we said, we are down here in Faugheen, and it is the Carrick Rally Sprint. Familiar route, of course, to two-wheel enthusiasts. The only real, I suppose, deviation from the bike action down here is that the loop is actually running the opposite direction. So just to recap on the times, if you have just joined us, James Doherty with that 148.3, Paul Cullen with a 152.6, Brian Kerwin 153 dead, Adam Grace 153.3, Peter Bogan 156.3, Mark O'Leary and Grove Mining 158.3, PM Malone is next 159.5, Tom Sheehan and Chris Marr after that with a 201.8, Anthony O'Driscoll with a 201.9, Kevin Brennan with a 202.1, Brian Walker then with a 203.2. So as we said, look, we have a little bit of an interval here. Things will resume again very, very shortly. It is just a 3K loop, so we will have a little bit of a sabbatical here, and we will resume very, very shortly indeed. As we said, if you are enjoying the coverage, just give us a little shout. Let us know where you're looking at from. comments are dropping into us here. We are live on Facebook, on Twitter, and on YouTube. The Facebook and the YouTube comments come into us here on the interface. We don't really see the Twitter comments that come in directly through the software that we use here. So that is the direct port of contact. Don't forget, you can email us, of course, irishrallypodcast@gmail.com. And we have been a little bit quiet, I suppose, over the last couple of months. We did have to plot and plan a few things. I know there is a couple of events and a few big ones left before the year is out, but we're just looking ahead to next year. Our podcast this year, we had sponsorship of the Tarmac Championship, we sponsorship of the Forestry Championship, and a select few events were done in the National as well, in terms of clubs coming to us looking for us to do a little bit of coverage and a little bit of a podcast on that. So if you want to get in touch with us about that, irishrallypodcast@gmail.com. We have sat down, we have done our statistics over the last couple of weeks on our viewership and on our listenership. There is packages available for next year. If anyone wants to get in touch, irishrallypodcast@gmail.com is the place to do it. Very competitive rates, good exposure for your brand and business, and obviously helps us pay a few bills as well. And the most important thing, gives exposure and coverage to Irish rallying, which we're all about. So that's the details on how to get in touch indeed. So we didn't bring a radio with us here to link up with the system. Occasionally we might have a radio that will inform us of maybe what is going on. Helping us out here today is the PRO of Carrick and Shore Motor Club, a good friend of mine and a good friend of the Irish Rally podcast, Mr. Larry O'Shea. So Larry, things were fairly hectic over the last couple of weeks. I know you were quite busy. We should mention, really, I suppose, the most important aspect here today, which we haven't done already. It is a novel day because this is run entirely by females, which is a phenomenal undertaking. And a lot of people, had to maybe step in. A lot of experienced females, of course, here as well. But a few people had to take big jumps. And, so far, things going fairly well. And, to talk us through the last few weeks.
Well, I suppose really it's something we talked about a while. We have a lot of female members in our club, and it was always something we dabbled with the possibility of doing. And I suppose we're lucky in that sense that there is so many of the women there. But I suppose this year we knew the sprint was going to be a bit different in the sense that we weren't going to be running in our usual spot out in Waterford. So, knowing there was a new challenge ahead, we threw forward a new team, and sure, we're just lucky with the women that we have with Eilish and Jessica and the team that they assembled. And in fairness to the girls in the surrounding area, the other motor clubs, Wexford, Carlow, all around the whole country, we're after getting backed by everyone. So the help that they are receiving is just phenomenal.
Yeah, team effort indeed. So, like I said, big undertaking, months of preparation, but it seemed to have pulled it off fairly well. If people just join us, there is just a very brief stoppage. How you going, lads? How's things? So we should be getting underway again very, very shortly. As we said, look, we're looking to let the cars do the talking here as such. We want to hear as little of us as possible. And I'm sure you're not really too disappointed over that either. We're watching at home, and Larry's not too disappointed over it, although he's well able to talk in fairness. Bob Martin tuning in. Good man, Bob. Thanks a million for getting in touch. Joe Stanley doing a great job. Thanks. And look, I suppose this is the downfall or disadvantage sometimes when we have our little stoppages, that we do have little gaps to fill. But look, we're doing our best to fill them there anyway. And sure, that's the choice, as the fella said. Figures are pretty good coming in here. Enjoying it. Enjoying being down here at 14 as well. As I said, beautiful surroundings. Look over there, isn't that just fantastic indeed? Sure, where else would you be? God's country, as the fella said. Someone said the Beverly Hills of Ireland now. I don't know. Is that a rumour or fact now, Larry?
You're looking back across into Kilkenny over on that side anyway. It's Tipperary that way, it's Kilkenny that way.
A good, strong, healthy rivalry. Actually, when I was coming down, I saw the what do you call it, the divide. Can't read 9 times yet. Yeah, there is times. We'll go back to the times if you just joined us there. Plenty of time to do it now because we have a bit of a stoppage. But James Doherty, 148.3 in his Starlet. Paul Cullen in the Corsa with a 152.6. I'm trying to get a wasp on my face there with November. Global warming, what's still going around? Jesus Christ, lads. Anyway, Brian Corwin, 153 dead. Adam Grace, 153.3. Peter Bogan, 156.3. Now, I think we could be ready to resume. I hear a car on the start line. So, for now, we're going to keep our mouths shut for about 5 minutes anyway until we have more time updates, and we'll bring does to you as round 1 commences down here in Faheen. We definitely have engines revving anyway. There's a little bit of activity on that start line. Of course, whoever's on the start line now has the misfortune of cold tyres as such, which is not ideal. We don't know how much of an area is there to maybe get a bit of heat into them anyway, but yeah, not ideal indeed.
But I think I always thought starting when you're sitting on the line like that, it's more of a mental game, really. Sitting waiting to go and waiting, and it seems to never happen for you.
There's someone say if you go into rally and you're a mental anyway, so it is a mental game.
The whole thing is a mental game.
That's it. There we go now again. We're up and running once more down here in Faheen for the Carrick Rally Sprint. TJ Dunn was looking out for that particular automobile, I think. So there you go, TJ. Jason and Owen O'Brien there. Gemma Carey there in the Subaru Impreza. TJ Dunn's back in touch. That's the father, which is been nice. Come on. Moving well there anyway. many more people that have done as many events as John O'Rourke has this year. Fairness to him, he has been very, very busy indeed inside that Opel Adam R2. We should have about another, I would say, somewhere in the region of 30 cars to go, and they are going in reverse, so quick time update once more. So James Doherty still with that 148.3, Kieran Hayes with a 149.9, Paul Cullen in the Corsa with a 152.6, Leo Doyle with a 153, and Brian Kerwin also with a 153. That's how things stand in the top 5 as another competitor makes their way up to us here. It's Michael Cahl from County Meath. Local duo, Morahans. Bobby Hennessy, of course, in a tussle with Casey J. Coleman. Southeast Stage honours. Graham Scannon's in touch with the Times for Shannon Sports. Yes, that's exactly where we're getting it from as well, Graham. 100%. Sound for posting in the link there as well for handling this for people. We're just giving them every 4 or 5 minutes around, just not to be repeating ourselves. Not to be flooding out the coverage. We're letting the action do the talking here today. That's familiar enough. Looking to Larry O'Shea. Pascal going off the road there.
Not so familiar looking now. We hit a thump down Wexford. She's a whole new front end. But
she is. That would awaken her senses, that joke now. You won a Southeast Championship in it this year, so we should say congratulations to you on that. So fair play.
Thanks very much.
You want to give anyone credit now, but fair play.
I know
as much as it kills me to say it.
the Saudi Stages was always something that I would have liked to have won, and it wasn't something that I was thinking about from my first full year rallying that I was going to win it. So
yeah, hasn't turned out too bad.
It hasn't turned out too bad. Take it off the list early.
18 years of age, not too shabby.
Not too shabby. Where do you go from here, though?
Hopefully not downhill, did you?
Not downhill, I hope.
Yeah, onwards and upwards. Tommy Foley, Wexford man. So we have a bit of a change when it comes to the timings. Emmett Watchorn with a 1:45.6, Niall Fitzpatrick and Matthew Reid 1:45.7. Jim Butler 1:48.3, James Doherty the very same time, and Kieran Hayes with a 1:49.9. Tom Geraghty, what a man. I sat in with Tom Geraghty in 2019, I think it was, the World Festival of Speed, and that was an experience now, I have to say. Fortunately the Festival of Speed didn't get to run this year. I do believe plans are back underway to get something back going again in the next couple of years, and hopefully it does. It's a fantastic event, really enjoyable. So, Thomas O'Rourke in a change of machinery this afternoon. Another busy man this year. Tom Scallon did an awful lot alongside. See a few cars sporting the precision graphics liveries here, and we're checking out their page to see a job they did. I'll tell you now in a second all about it. Yeah, they did a livery on a Subaru Impreza that absolutely blew me away when I saw it on social media last night, of Andrew Nesbitt in the Circuit of Ireland 1999. They had, I suppose, limited things to work off in terms of trying to make it happen. Logos, graphics and stuff. As Casey J. Goldman goes past, he's the other one in the tussle with Bobby Hennessy for the Southeast Stages title there. But they did a fantastic job on the Andrew Nesbitt livery. It's absolutely brilliant. You should check it out there on their Facebook page. Graham Scannon's back in touch. Good coverage. You even got the good weather with you. I don't know about that. I've been told I dampen people's spirits at times as well. So thanks nonetheless, Graham. Another update in times which we'll bring to you here now in a moment. Alan Doherty flies past. We need to, I suppose, we are going to get into the sharp end of things now. Barry Murphy in his Evo 10 with a 1:40.5. Jason O'Brien with a 1:44.4. Emma Watchorn 1:45.6. Niall Fitzpatrick 1:45.7. And the Bowl Pascal O'Shea with a 1:47.5. So we're down, I'd say, about 6 or 7 more cars to go. So let's see how this pans out.
I suppose it's worth noting too that the speed is absolutely phenomenal considering it's a 3 kilometre loop. The fact that we're going to break into the 130s
Yeah.
shows the speed that's out there.
Because we have probably, we got a couple, 2 or 3 chicanes?
We have 4 chicanes.
4 is in total. Yeah,
4
sorry,
chicanes.
I was going so quick around it earlier. I forgot how many there was. Jack Murphy, where's Peter Falvey? Peter Falvey went through a long time ago. He's sitting there with Richie Long, so we'll try to get you his time there. He's been a busy man this year as well. Richie Long put in a 2:27.7 alongside Peter Falvey there. Thanks, Jack Murphy, for getting in touch indeed. So just a couple more cars to get through and then give you the time to wrap things up, and we'll prepare for our second run. It'll be a very quick turnaround. Pat O'Connell flies through. Casey Coleman 146.8, Bobby Hennessy 149.4. We'll keep an eye on that particular jewel. Endo O'Brien back out in the Martin Escort for the day. And obviously pretty busy in the polo the last couple of years. Does have the occasional appearance in the Mark 2. So I think we could be coming near the latter stages of things now. So we'll just hang tight for a couple of moments because we will get a few more times in and we'll let you know who's been quickest through the first run. Subject to change, obviously, terms and conditions apply. Things may vary. James Cole 144.5, that puts him in the fourth currently. Jason O'Brien 144.4, Vinny O'Shea 142.8, Barry Murphy 140.5. So we are. Oh, Eddie Doherty comes in with a 138.7. Now he did look quick there in fairness, though.
He's after having a good year.
He has, in fairness, yet to make serious progress. He looked like he was on a mission there, very much so. So we'll get times for a couple more. We'll get Pat O'Connell's time, and we have to get Endo O'Brien's time. I think I can hear Endo now approaching the line already. It is, of course, a 3K loop. So Pat O'Connell's time, yeah, 143 dead. Eddie Doherty with a 138.7, Barry Murphy 140.5, Vinny O'Shea 142.8, Pat O'Connell 143, Jason O'Brien 144.4, and Endo O'Brien just heard him trickle over the line there. So we'll just see what time comes in on the system. It will take a few seconds just to update. That sounded pretty clean now, in fairness. Chrono O'Leary's in touch. Go Eddie Doherty rallying. Yeah, tell you, that time is going to take a bit of beating indeed. But has Endo O'Brien done it? Endo O'Brien has not done it. So Eddie Doherty with a 138.7, quickest through this first run. Barry Murphy 140.5, Endo O'Brien 142.1, Vincent O'Shea 142.8, Pat O'Connell 143 dead, Jason O'Brien 144.4, James Coleman 144.5, Alan Doherty 144.7, Emmett Watchorn 145.6, and Niall Fitzpatrick 145.7. That concludes our top 10. We're going to wrap it up and take a little bit of a sabbatical because we have to do a bit of moving around. And we'll chat to you again very shortly. Turn on the notifications on Twitter, on Facebook, and on YouTube, and you'll see when we're going live. It won't be that long now, just a brief sabbatical indeed. Thanks to everyone for getting in touch so far.